Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. Today's interview is sponsored by World Outsourcing Solutions, a company that specializes in helping business owners around the world, starting here in the United Kingdom, with outsourcing services. If you're joining us for the very first time, welcome, and congratulations on making it this far. You are probably a business owner, or you are aspiring a business owner. We created this show with you in mind. And we bring some very good people, in fact, exceptional experts in their own rights to talk to us about to do things successfully that centers around business. And today I'm privileged to have a good friend of mine that I happened to work with not too long ago, Karen Bashford, to talk about your joyful life journey. And it's going to be a very good one because I know Karen has something important to share with the business owner. Karen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here with you.
Incredible. And I always like it when I get to interview people that are here in the United Kingdom, because we can serve people here and across the world. Now, Karen Bashford has years of experience in financial world, previously working for Barclays Bank as a business advisor and a personal lending officer. And after taking voluntary redundancy, she retrained as an independent financial advisor. She then left the financial world to run her own virtual PA business for a number of years, mentoring and supporting her clients to grow their business. It's just something like we do here. However, she closed that business when she decided that she would prefer to work with people rather than computers. Now, Karen loves using her qualification as a hypnotherapist and a master NLP practitioner to work with women to connect and transform their relationship with their inner child to help them get past the blocks that they may be stopping them from becoming successful in their life or financially. Now, to get us started, Karen, our audience would love to know your background and many other things like your education so that they can relate to you. Can we get started on that? I think a bit of who you are first would be amazing, and then we talk about the business.
Well, I live in Croydon. I have my own business, which is hypnotherapy and NLP practitioner. I am a cat owner of 2 beautiful cats, and I just love gardening. I love working with clients. I love socializing, and I just enjoy life.
Incredible. And like we saw in the bio that I read there, you were involved in Barclays Bank or in financial industry. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Okay, well, I joined Barclays when I was 16 years old.
Right.
And I worked through some of the ranks. Unfortunately, even though I'd done my exams, I was informed quite early on that I wouldn't progress very far. But I stuck it out because I enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed working with the clients of the bank to manage their monies effectively and to help them borrow if they needed to, understanding why they were borrowing and making the most of the money they had if they didn't need to. Also helping businesses grow their businesses. I had a lending limit for small businesses and just sat down and learned a lot about different businesses, and that was great fun. I left the bank simply because I didn't like the fact that it was going to be computerized, and all lending was going to be credit scored. And based on the fact that I knew a lot of my clients, because of their actual situation, were going to be refused any kind of lending. I just didn't feel comfortable with the knowledge that I'd lent these clients monies all these years and never had any problems with bad debts or anything like that. And then all of a sudden I was going to have to turn around and say to them, no, you can't have any money. So I retrained as a financial advisor.
Incredible. It does sound like a natural progression toward that. You wanted to help people become financially free.
Yes, definitely. And I thoroughly enjoyed being a financial advisor. But unfortunately, when you start your own divorce proceedings and you're told by your solicitor that he could claim maintenance on you, things change drastically.
Right. Okay, incredible. And then you move on to start your own business as a virtual assistant provider. What happened there?
I'd gone back to working in the city for a financial research company.
Right.
And unfortunately, with the 9/11 situation, I lost my job. And there weren't many positions available at the time. So I thought, okay, so small businesses need help. So I set up my own virtual PA business, which was basically doing payroll, bookkeeping, sales calls, cold calling, secretarial work, booking appointments for them, and just generally answering the phone for their clients.
Incredible. Yes.
So,
And a few years later, you moved on to working with people, which is what we're going to be talking about today.
yes, I did, and I love it.
Yes. So at that time when you were moving to work with people, did you have to do any preparation, like attending seminars and all that sort of things?
Well, my interest in hypnotherapy started when I went for some hypnotherapy myself to stop smoking, and it was highly effective.
Right.
So when I was invited to a 3-day neurolinguistic programming and hypnotherapy seminar in London at Earl's Court, I said yes, because it was something I was interested in and I was looking for something else to do. So I went along and I qualified 8 years ago as an hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner, but I've also attended other seminars, and one of the things I've done a lot of is reading,
Right.
and that has improved my knowledge and skills considerably. But I also used to coach and mentor clients and also the staff with Barclays, because I'd been there for so long that I used to help them sort of get their lives in order and sort of be happier at work and things like that. So I've always worked with people, and consequently the hypnotherapy and NLP seemed right, and I've taken it that much further and now utilize it in my business.
Absolutely. And I had an experience with you not too long ago. We were
Mm-hmm.
talking about this, and we were talking about, unblocking those blocks that stop you from getting to your goals, basically. And you have a very unique way of doing that. Can we talk about that for a moment, and then we'll talk about creating your joy, after that.
Okay, yeah. Well, during my time with clients, I realized a lot of the women weren't able to let go of a lot of the issues they had about self-worth, because they just couldn't connect into their imagination and their unconscious mind to allow themselves to be free. Even though I could hypnotize them, they were really reluctant to do things.
Right.
So I learned, I was actually guided intuitively to help clients in a different way, and that was to get them to imagine their little child in their heart. And basically that little child, that little girl or boy, had been living with them and residing in their heart as their guide. Basically I class it as their soul. Some people would disagree, but that's fine. But by connecting with that little child in their heart, they were able to answer questions that gave them the answers that they needed. Because when they try and go back in time to find out when something occurred, they find it hard to do. Whereas the little child will just come up with the answer. It's just amazing how it works. I don't know why it works, but I just know it works. And the success rate is phenomenal.
Incredible. You've worked with all types of people using your strategy like
Mm-hmm.
that. Would you share maybe one or two testimonies from the business area, how you've helped, the businesses move from where they were like sort of stuck to a place where they were moving fashionably, faster?
Yes, one lady I quite frequently talk about, simply because it's just so important in business to be able to use the phone. This particular lady, Yvonne, unfortunately wouldn't pick up the phone. She wouldn't answer the phone. She wouldn't use the phone to phone people, and her business relied on conversations on the phone.
Right.
And incredibly, she just couldn't do it. So it was obviously impacting her business. So we had one session, and at the end of the session, she went out confident that she was going to pick up the phone. And I know she does, because I get phone calls from her saying, "Thanks so much."
Yes, obviously it's quite clear that it worked, because before,
Yes, definitely.
yes, that's wonderful, Karen. And for those people who are not so sure about what we're talking about, what can you tell them to get them to that place of ease, so that they can explore the concept of you use to unblock things that stop people?
Okay, so one of the questions I would ask somebody is, are you succeeding in business as much as you'd like to? If not, what's stopping you? And quite often, just asking a simple question like that, it often brings up answers that they weren't aware of, because your mind is more than capable of providing an answer if you don't spend too much time thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it was one of my mentors who said, your mind is designed to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can even protect you from becoming free.
Mm.
That was actually Bob Proctor. I enrolled in one of his projects as a powerful program. Thinking into results and
Mm-hmm.
what he does for anyone who is interested in that. Please go ahead.
Well, the other person I would say who really, really benefited from working with me was a lady who was running a network marketing business. And she was given an opportunity to go into another business that potentially could give her a lot more money. However, the thing that she was stumbling on was the fact that she didn't think she was worth that extra money.
Right.
And we sort of got down to the point what was causing her to say no, she didn't want that extra money. And that was because her father used to not express any interest in what she wanted to do in life. And she always felt that she had to be up to his standard. And if she took the extra money, she would be exceeding his standard. So
Right.
she wouldn't take that extra money, that job that would given her the extra money, because she felt that her father would be judging her for being too successful.
Right. It makes perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense, because subconsciously you sabotage yourself.
Yes, definitely. And that's what she was doing.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, let's talk about creating joy in your life. This is one area that I know business owners, will certainly need some assistance with. I'll give you an example in my own business. When I was starting out, I was very optimistic, wanted to conquer the world and do all that sort of things. 6 months down into the business, I then discovered that there were so many moving parts, and I had so many deadlines to meet, so many things to respond to the point that the joy was sucked out of me. And I had to rediscover that, the reason I'm doing this business and whatever, all the activities involved is for me to have joy. And it took having a coach, something similar to what you do, for me to get to a place where I say, you know what, I'll step back. I don't need to have all that. Now, in your way of doing things, how can business owners regain or maybe keep their joy as they run their business?
Okay, well, working with me, we find out what blocks are in place to stop them from having that success, having the life that they wish.
Right.
But one of the things I do is, it's probably a bit woo-woo, but it's the law of attraction. And I actually help them set their goals in place for what they want to succeed with,
Right.
but teach them how to put them into the future. And this is it's imagination and seeing that the future is changing to enable what they want to occur, but then I coach them and make sure that they understand that any issues that come up, any beliefs that have been well hidden, are dealt with, so that they're getting the coaching to bring their business to life and really having the joy in their life. But also, as like anything, if you start sort of digging, you find things you don't necessarily want to know about or haven't realized are there. And you have to make sure that you basically clear the ground for the new to come through. And working with me, they clear the ground, but they also enable the new ideas, the new, structures that they need in place. They all come through because they're focusing on the end result rather than what's happening now.
Right. Incredible. We talked about earlier on off air, the importance of being in the now for business owners. Not all business owners are in the now. Would you have any tips or strategies that you can help somebody like that in our audience to get them in the now, to operate in the now while they're pursuing their goals?
Okay, stop thinking so much.
Okay.
It sounds counterproductive, but we spend so much time thinking through problems instead of looking for solutions, instead of looking to see if we made this minute change, it would create a change in so much else. So stop thinking so much. Allow the natural flow of things to happen. And when you do, you'll be more focused in on what's happening now that will allow the future to unfold in a natural process rather than, oh, I've got to do this, I should be doing this, and, oh, I still got this to do. When you're focusing in on the now, you're just allowing things to happen. Incredible. Instead of, I've got to plan, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Yes, you have to know what you're going to be doing, but it's better sometimes to just sit and ask the question, what do I need to do, rather than how do I do it?
Incredible. And another way is how, who do I need to become in the whole process? The bigger the person you become, the easier it becomes to solve the issues.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. What would you consider to be the second step business owner needs to take when it comes to getting their lives on track and reclaim that joy?
Get somebody else to do a lot of the work that they don't enjoy doing, definitely. Utilising your resources.
Yes.
Because if you're doing things you don't like doing, it's certainly not going to work for you. You'll spend so much time trying to get that work done that you take the passion out of your business because you're doing things you don't love.
Yeah, it's a bit like, putting, the square hole into a round hole. It just doesn't work. It drains energy in you. You might as well give it to somebody who enjoys that, and they do it quicker, faster, and better.
Yeah, and it frees you up to then do the things that you love to do, or give you more time to be with your family, with your friends, just enjoying life, because we're not put on this earth to be working so hard that we can't enjoy life.
No. Enjoying life is actually part of the process. That's why business owners get into the business. It's only that when you are in it, then you begin to lose focus of why you got in there in the first place.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
Yes. Karen, one of the things that our audience often like to know is, how do you market your services as a business owner? Because there's so many strategies out there that people want to know what is currently working today. How do you go about that?
For me personally, it's networking.
Right.
The nature of what I do is very personal, and it's hard to describe to somebody who, through the internet or through Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, exactly what I do. So it's easier to have a conversation with somebody, and quite often that conversation will trigger something that says, oh, I recognize that. It's far more personal for me to connect with them. I do obviously Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And yes, I need to do more of that because there is a way of connecting with people in that way. But I also do a lot of one-to-one meetings with people, solicitors, professional people who potentially have businesses where staff could be beneficial for them to have a conversation with me. Maybe they're not working as effectively and such like. So yeah, one-to-ones through business owners themselves, networking, and also a bit online, but not an awful lot.
Incredible. I like it when you say networking, because in my experience, networking and meeting with people really is when you connect with people and you create that trust factor. People do business with the people they know, like, and trust. So if you are a business owner listening to this conversation, really consider networking. Go out to events and meet people face to face. You'll be amazed at what happens. Now, how do you decide which networking maybe events to go to, Karen?
It depends. I belong to a group called the Fabulous Women and Marvelous Men. That's really, really effective because it's networking without selling. And
Right.
I hate being sold to, so I would certainly not go to a networking where it's expected, or has the reputation of selling.
Right.
But the Fabulous Women and Marvelous Men is very much about collaboration.
Right.
I also go to meetings where I think there's a benefit of, maybe there's some kind of a speaker who I feel would be appropriate for me to hear, and it would attract the kind of clients that I'm looking for or the people I want to connect with more. So it depends. Obviously, I belong to various meetup groups and such like, and that's a great way of getting to go to meetings.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a case of what's appropriate for myself, for my business, but something that would be of interest to me. There's no point in me going along and listening to some really boring talk.
Absolutely.
Just for the sake of networking. It's got to be something that's going to be
beneficial,
the right kind of clients for me, or potential people who could we could do a collaboration business with, or it's something that I'm really interested in, and because it's an interest to me, it's potentially going to have the people that would connect with me there anyway.
Incredible. Karen, you touched one important aspect there, the attitude that you have when you go to networking. I don't do as much networking now, I think only once a week. But when I was getting started, I used to be out 3 nights a week, sometimes even 4 nights a week, until I started getting told off that you're out all the day, and then I decided to cut it back. So I still do once a week, or sometimes once a fortnight, depending on the schedule and my travels. But one thing I learned earlier on is something you've touched on, that you don't like to be sold at. And it was when I discovered that people that comes to networking events, they're also looking for what we're looking. So I then changed my approach, because I used to take my business cards and we'll put in everyone's hand who is there, thinking that they're going to use my services. Now, that wasn't as effective until I discovered that, if I go in there with an intention of giving, listening to what they're saying, and then say, okay, how can I help this person? By just doing those 2 things, I discovered that people will be interested in me, and then they say, what do you actually do? You are such a wonderful person, but I don't know what you do. And say, okay, I'm glad you asked that, because I do this. And they're so sort of hooked, so to speak. The next thing is I'm making a phone call, a follow-up on that, and they become a client of mine, and they become raving customers, talking to their friends and family about the services that we have. So, that part of, don't go in there with the intention to sell to anyone, but to go with the intention to give something to somebody, so that when they leave your presence, they are in a much, much better position, or in a better place than before that time.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I never ever go without the intention of just making sure whoever I meet leaves feeling that much better, or feeling more confident, or just having a bit more knowledge that perhaps they didn't have that would help their businesses grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we come toward the end of our time together, Karen, here, I know that there will be people here that would love to connect with you and maybe, use some of your services. Talk to us about your ideal clients and how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, so my ideal clients are women, although I do work with men. But it's a sense of not being satisfied with life more than anything, that things that aren't going the way they feel they should do, or they're questioning, what am I doing? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business that's not succeeding as well as it should, or even if it's family member that they're not connecting with in the way that they feel they want to. Things have changed, teenagers grow. Sometimes just changing how they feel will change a relationship. So it can be somebody thinking of divorce, even a woman thinking of divorce, or going through divorce. Even I can help them with that, because it's very much about the mindset and what you think about yourself, what you believe about yourself, and what you put out in your world that can have an impact on your life. And quite often those thoughts and beliefs can be well and truly hidden. You're not even aware of them. So how they can contact me? Well, they can certainly come through my website of karenbashford.com. They can give me a call on 07818 096 673. And we can have a chat and just see if there's anything I can help them with, or if they need some clarity on something. I'm more than happy to offer that free chat and just see how we can work together if necessary, or if need be, I can always refer them on to someone else.
Absolutely, because that's always the case. You can refer them to someone else. Do you happen to have any social media where people can find
Yes,
you?
I've got my Twitter, which is KarenB101, and my Facebook is facebook.com KarenBashford01, and that's my business page. I have LinkedIn. If you just do a search for Karen Bashford, you'll find me.
Incredible. And, Karen, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Before we go, I know you believe in, playing your part in making the society a better place, or giving something to charity or community. Can you talk to us about that as we come to the end of our time together?
Yes. Well, I'm actually on a mission to reach 5 million women to empower them to become financially secure. Now, that doesn't mean to say I have to speak to 5 million women, although that would be very nice. My attitude to this is, if I just connect with one woman who benefits, she is going to talk to another woman, or someone else, even a man or a child, who could benefit from that experience she's had from me. And that's how I hope to get to reach 5 million women, that the word of mouth passes the message on, because women are capable of being financially secure, but the trouble is they don't believe it half the time.
Right. And, if you're just joining us, you are listening to Karen Bashford, talking about how you can have a joyful life, really following certain principles, and how she has helped many, many people, especially here in UK, unblock those things that stops them from being happy or going after their dreams. Karen, your website is karenbashford.com.
Yes, that's right.
And for those who want to connect with you, they can find or send you an email on that website, correct?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Incredible. Well, Karen, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we certainly wish you, success in your endeavor as you are going for your mission, helping, a lot of women have a fulfilling life and really do well in their own right, be it in business or in their personal life. So we want to thank you for that.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed being with you.
You're welcome. And for you business owners, if you are listening, and I encourage you to get in touch with Karen. If any of the things that we talked about today resonate with you, or even if there's the slightest, you want to inquire about that, just do that. It's Karen. I've worked with Karen before, and the process she takes you through is one that is enjoyable, but certainly will make a difference in your life. And with that said, thank you for joining us. And if you do need to get any virtual assistant services, go to this website, which is www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com, and you'll be able to connect with one of the project managers there, and they will be able to help you as well. With that said, I'm Yokai Kajidori from Enlightened Entrepreneur. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks again, Karen.
Thank you.